Hi there. Welcome to this breakout. My name is Jonathan Temlock. I'm a Senior Business Development Manager at Alexa Voice Service. I'm excited to talk to you today about the Alexa Solution Providers Network and how solution providers can help you build better products faster with Alexa built in. There are three concepts we'll talk about throughout this presentation today that I hope you'll take away. Alexa Solution Providers can help you accelerate your project, simplify your development, and often reduce costs versus designing and developing on your own. There are three things that we'll discuss today. First, we'll give you an overview of our Solution Providers program. Second, we'll talk about solution provider types and engagement models. And finally, we'll touch on best practices and next steps. An Alexa solution provider is a company who has built expertise creating and launching voice experiences with Alexa Voice Service. Solution providers deploy their expertise specifically to help brands and device makers build their Alexa built-in projects. There are four types in the solution providers network, which we'll discuss later, but they all share common attributes. Alexa solution providers help device makers and brands accelerate your project, simplify Alexa development by offloading that development from your internal resources, and can often reduce your development costs as compared to building an Alexa built-in product completely in-house. Because of their experience building voice experiences and developing voice products, solution providers can help you innovate with Alexa's latest solutions for your products and iterate so you can move quickly to launch voice experiences. Thinking about adding Alexa to your product plans can seem like a daunting task, especially if you've never designed a voice-oriented product, don't have the in-house expertise to define and develop voice experience, or don't have experience building devices whatsoever. When device makers and brands think about incorporating voice into products, they're often faced with questions about how to do so, ranging from determining how voice fits into existing business models and can create engaging experiences with a brand's customers, to how to plan the right voice experiences when unfamiliar with the solutions, and what are the most effective ways to build and launch voice experiences when device makers and brands have limited experience with the technologies. But there's a solution to these questions that can help you accelerate your project, simplify your development path, and reduce development costs. We have assembled a network of solution providers who specialize in helping brands and device makers create Alexa experiences for your products and get those products launched. Our solution providers network includes companies who have global and regional expertise building voice experiences into devices and have a focus on supporting device makers and brands' projects. Solution providers in our network meet our program's qualification standards and have access to Alexa's latest offerings and direct solution support from Amazon as a result. Whether you need help defining your voice experience, want to incorporate Alexa into an existing device design, or need help building a product from the ground up, rest assured that the Alexa Solution Providers Network can help. We've also built our network with scope and scale in mind so that we can serve a broad array of device maker and brand needs. Next, let me tell you a few examples about brands who successfully leveraged our network. I'd like to tell you a story about a brand whose primary customers are rental companies that rent products to end consumers. The brand wanted to build an aftermarket voice device to support a new fleet management product segment for the company, with features such as location tracking or maintenance alerts. In addition to the fleet management services, the brand wanted the devices to provide features and benefits for the end consumers so that end user requests for the devices might help drive penetration of these devices into rental companies' existing fleets. The company decided a camera device type and Alexa voice service would help them improve experiences for the rental companies and their end users. But how to get from this high-level product concept to a detailed product specification that leads to an engaging customer experience? The brand lacked experience and technical depth to take a journey which would result in engaging experience for the rental company's user bases. As they did not want to distract their product and development resources from their core business, they knew they needed help getting from a high-level product concept to a fully fleshed out product and delivery plan. To help deliver the product concept, definition, the brand engaged a solution provider, and specifically a consulting and professional services provider to help them ideate, define, design, and develop the product. With the voice and product experience defined and developed, the brand successfully launched their product with the new fleet management services to their traditional customers at rental companies. This is a great example of how a company can engage with the consulting and professional services provider to deliver great experiences for customers without worrying about how to deliver on the vision. Another example of how a solution provider helped a brand launch a new Alexa built-in product includes a company that builds bathroom devices. This company was interested in adding voice control to an existing product design via Alexa Voice Service. These existing designs typically don't have high memory, CPU, software, or other technical hardware requirements, whereas considerations in these areas are quite important for creating an optimal Alexa built-in experience. Since the brand had little experience making these architectural decisions and lacked in-house resources to build the Alexa Voice Service software client, they chose to work with a systems integrator in our network who provided a hardware-based module that included all of the requested Alexa functionality and provided support for AVS certifications for the module and device designs. The solution provider's support for AVS voice control requirements allowed the brand to focus on building a strong launch and marketing plan focused on the addition of voice capabilities to delight their customers. By working with a solution provider, the customer was able to move more quickly and avoid large resource investments than if they decided to develop the software themselves. In other words, they accelerated their project, simplified their Alexa development, and reduced their costs as a result of working with an Alexa solution provider. Now that we've run through a few examples, let me highlight a few details about our network and solution provider types. There are 4 types of solution providers in our program that can help with different parts of a device maker's journeys to add voice to a product. First, consulting and professional services providers are often engaged for strategy, development, or go-to-market services. Second, chipset vendors are often leveraged for their development kits or to leverage qualified reference solutions in your architecture. Third, original design manufacturers provide end-to-end device design, implementation, and manufacturing services. And fourth, system integrators, who provide qualified hardware modules and hardware and software development services. All of these solution provider types can help you realize your vision for bringing voice to your product, whether you're seeking help with a particular phase of your project, or if you need end-to-end help designing, developing, and launching an Alexa built-in device. Now that you know the 4 types of solution providers in our network, let's talk about how their specific expertise can help you address common questions about building Alexa built-in devices we discussed earlier in the presentation with some general examples. First, some device makers need help thinking about what kind of voice product to build. To answer these questions, consulting and professional services providers are often recommended because they have expertise analyzing customer segments and voice trends. They can bring data-driven insights to your product design and decisions. Next, some device makers need help understanding what kind of architectures work best with Alexa. For these questions, chipset vendors are leveraged to help because they pre-qualify their designs with Amazon to ensure their chipset solutions meet AVS program standards and feature requirements so you can have comfort that qualified system on chips and reference kits can support Alexa without needing deep knowledge of the silicon segment. Next, some device makers need help with development or want a module they can add to an existing product. Developers who know how to build devices or have other providers they prefer to work with for device development and manufacturing often engage system integrators because they can deliver a complete Alexa solution compatible with AVS in a standard module form factor that is relatively easy to add to the device design and during manufacturing. System integrator modules essentially deliver Alexa as a component, which can make adding Alexa to your product simple, cost-efficient, and quick. Next, some device makers need help designing and building their product all together. Original design manufacturers are great to help with this question because they specialize in developing products end to end. They can support building mechanical and industrial designs that meet Alexa requirements, and many can develop the Alexa device client themselves, and these providers can manufacture and help with Alexa certifications for your end product. Some device makers and brands even choose to work with many solution providers at once to solve their variety of questions. Let me tell you a good example next of when a brand chose to engage each type of solution provider in our network. A consumables brand wanted to create a new device that would provide an engaging voice experience while their end customers prepared and enjoyed their consumables products. Having limited experience creating devices and designing voice experiences, this company turned to the expertise of each type of solution provider in our network to bring their vision to a reality. A consulting partner and professional services provider, a chipset vendor solution, a systems integrator, and an original design manufacturer. The brand selected 2 consulting and professional services providers to bring their expertise to different pieces of the project. The first provider was engaged to build the mobile companion application for user registration and the app-based device experience. In addition, the brand also leveraged this provider's end-to-end program management expertise to help manage the delivery of the solution's elements across the myriad of components involved. The second consulting and professional services provider was engaged because of their audio and acoustics expertise. This provider was responsible for designing the audio performance of the device and for optimizing audio capture and acoustic tuning to meet the brand's and Amazon's acoustic performance requirements. The brand was eager to provide an optimal voice experience, and their launch feature set included a number of optional Alexa features that have very specific performance requirements, such as Alexa calling and messaging and Alexa multi-room music. When designing a device architecture, it can be challenging for brands with limited experience developing devices to determine how the various silicon specifications and components translate into a performance profile required to gain an optimal Alexa experience. To help ensure architecture could support the targeted experience, the consumables brand selected a pre-qualified system on chip, or SoC, from a qualified chipset solution provider. Qualified SoCs from chipset solution providers are tested by Amazon to demonstrate success supporting the Alexa voice service and for compatibility with optional feature sets. The brand also chose a systems integrator to build the device software client because of their expertise developing Alexa software and the speed at which they could deliver a client that met the customizations required by the brand. Given their Alexa expertise and their understanding of Alexa features and software requirements, the system integrator was well positioned to deliver a software client that met all of the brand's feature and timeline requirements. As is typical of our systems integrator solution providers, they delivered the Alexa client on a hardware module that could easily be incorporated into the mechanical and functional hardware design for the end product. The development process was simplified for the brand as they could depend on the systems integrator experience to develop the Alexa client, but do so in a hardware module that was straightforward for their ODM to integrate into the device's PCB design to bring the full suite of Alexa features to the device. Selecting a systems integrator allowed the brand to focus on their core strengths of marketing their consumables through premium brand experiences, while simplifying their Alexa development by depending on the expertise of a systems integrator solution provider. Finally, since the brand is not a device maker, remember they sell consumables as their core business, they needed help designing and building the actual end device. For this, the brand turned to an original design manufacturer in our network who had experience building non-Alexa versions of this device form factor and experience building other Alexa devices. The brand was able to depend on the ODM to design the PCB mechanicals and industrial design for the end product that would deliver a premium experience for the core use case, preparing the consumable, while maintaining confidence that the designs would also meet Amazon's design requirements for the Alexa experience. The ODM also collaborated with the other solution providers to design and install the system integrator's hardware module onto the PCB design, and with the consulting and professional services providers to model, test, and tune the acoustic experience and integrate interactions from the mobile app onto the device. I really love this example, as it's a great illustration of how a brand with limited experience building devices can leverage the unique expertise of each type of solution provider in our network to deliver high-quality, engaging Alexa built-in devices that they otherwise would not have capabilities to create. By leveraging many of our solution provider types, this brand accelerated their project, simplified their Alexa development path, and reduced their costs versus developing the product in-house. Deciding what types of solution providers to engage depends on the resources and expertise you already have in-house and plan to deploy when designing, building, and launching Alexa built-in devices. Next, let's talk about a few things you may want to think about as you consider working with Alexa solution providers to help with your projects in our best practices section. When thinking about engaging a solutions provider for a project, there are a few key things to consider ahead of time. Think about what you're trying to accomplish by adding voice to your project. For example, who is your target customer, or what volumes are you targeting? Answers to these questions will help determine the device experience you're targeting and the solution provider's best position to help you achieve this vision. Are you targeting a premium experience that includes every Alexa feature? Is your product a better fit for Alexa basic use cases only? Use the Alexa developer portal to become familiar with the Alexa experiences available and the optional features you might consider for your projects. These decisions will impact your project's architectures, design phases, development timelines, and Alexa certification plans. Think through what kind of help you want. For example, do you have an in-house team who can readily read Alexa's requirements and design software around them? Do you need help refining the specific voice use cases you expect to include in this device? Having a clear understanding of what resources you expect to dedicate to designing and developing the Alexa experience. Knowing what resources you expect to deploy on the project will help you understand where you need help from a solution provider. Our solution providers are also not one size fits all. Some have unique specialties that may be right for your product niche, whereas some have broad, general Alexa skill sets that may be best for your needs. Expect to consider exploring multiple solution providers, and don't forget that engaging many solutions provider types might be right for you. Information about the solution providers in our network is available on our public websites. Use the information there as a starting point to learn more about how solution providers can help accelerate your project, simplify your Alexa development, and reduce cost. The solution provider web address is listed here. Finally, engage your Alexa representative for guidance early in your process. Our Alexa teams can help you think through any questions about creating Alexa built-in devices with a solution provider, provide suggestions about the solution provider types that may best fit your needs, and provide introductions to solution providers in our network when you're ready to begin exploring their services. All right, let's recap what we talked about today and think about some next steps. As a recap of our discussion, we first discussed what a solution provider is, why brand and device makers use Alexa solution providers, and the breadth and scope of our solution provider network. We then discussed the 4 types of solution providers, including consulting and professional services, qualified chipset vendors, system integrators, and original design manufacturers, and how each type has unique skills that can help with your project. Finally, we covered a few best practices to help you think about the needs of your projects and better determine which solution providers you may want to engage. Now, when you're ready to engage a solution provider to discuss how they can support voice experiences on your projects, first, visit our Alexa Solution Provider Developer Portal to review our network of solution providers. The web address is on the screen. Second, talk to your Alexa representative. They can provide guidance on the specialties of the solution providers in our network and recommend a few solution providers for you to consider based on the specifics of your project. Thank you for your time today. We look forward to working with you if a solution provider in our network can help you accelerate your project, simplify your Alexa development, and reduce your project costs. We hope you enjoy the rest of Alexa Live and have a great day.